our 55-inch plasma TV. The electrical storm took it out. Hanging out though, chilling out on the swing. That bank, literally, how long ago?
Like 40 minutes, not even.
Was just wrapped in Dubuque. I didn't spit on her. I licked my puppy. Headed into Dubuque today, and I did not film for you last night. I thought about it. I was going to pick up the camera. We had a ridiculous electrical storm last night. Like, lightning didn't stop, did it? It was just continuous.
Constant for like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of deadly lighting. It was a bad storm. So the weather was really bad last night, and I thought about picking up the camera, but I told you guys I always prepare the vlog at night if I can help it. And I just didn't want to plug the camera into the computer during an electrical storm, obviously, so I decided it wasn't worth vlogging it. Well, what I missed vlogging was in the middle of the electrical storm, our 55-inch plasma TV. The electrical storm took it out. So you could, there's no picture, like there's a really dark picture that you can see, and all the sound is still there. So we're thinking it just took out the charge out of the plasma, right?
Something, yeah, or the backlighting.
Yeah. So we lost our TV in the storm last night, and that is why we're on our way into Dubuque today to go pick up a new TV. Because we don't have a living room TV anymore.
No, and we don't go out a lot, so a TV is, you know, something we use.
Yeah, like we do family trips and stuff, but as a couple, we don't go out and do like, you know, we don't turn up.
Yeah, no. We used to when we were young.
When we were young, but not anymore. We're too old for that kind of stuff. And once in a while, we'll have a date night and stuff, but that's usually like dinner. Maybe we'll go down to the casino or something for a little bit, but we don't, you know, we don't go out a whole lot anymore. So that's kind of our fun, is being able to watch movies at home.
Our date yesterday was we went fishing.
Yeah, which you guys saw, so.
Wish she didn't catch anything.
No, I didn't. Anyway, so on our trip to Dubuque, whoa, what was that? Somebody woke up from his nap early. He was napping in the car, and he is crabby right now. What's wrong?
I turned the air on.
Apparently he doesn't want the air conditioning on. But yeah, so we have, obviously, Aspen and T. Zane in Ireland, and Masha and Reddington rode along with us today. So we had to stop and take a potty stop for the puppies.
So with the TV, we've always kept our TVs like the 40-inch, 43-inch, until I got a really good deal on the last one on sale for a 55. So that's what we've had for the last almost 3 years. And now we're going back to a 43.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about it, but it is 4K, so. Oh, the cows are freaking out. They're like, it must be feeding time, because they just went boom, running across.
They look like a bucking bronco.
That was funny. I was wondering what you were yelling about. But yeah, he ended up finding a 4K TV, so that should be pretty interesting. Never watched 4K TV.
Yeah.
I can watch some cool vlogs on it.
I figured better resolution, smaller size, more decently priced, because it really, that 43-inch screen, when you jump above that, they really
price really raises. Yeah, we got a super deal on that 55-inch that we had. I mean, it was like, what, 300 bucks?
Yeah, it was last year's model. It was like 700, and we got it for like 340.
Yeah, so. And they don't have any like that now, so. We're going back down in size, but that's what you gotta do. At least the kids will have a TV. Right now, last night, because a couple of the kids were scared of the storm, and the storm had calmed down. So Ireland and Braxen ended up downstairs, and Braxen actually has an old, what, 19-inch tube TV? Oh, 13-inch tube TV. So he's like, well, I don't want to set it on the carpet. I want to start a fire. And I'm like, you're right. So he grabs a chair out of the kitchen, puts it on a chair, and hooks up his little 13-inch TV. And he's like, it's kind of like my own little theater, Mom. Because he had it right by the recliner. So
believe it or not, I sat down this morning, and it was still there. And I turned it on, and I was actually watching this little dinky TV.
But they used to be all we had for a long time. It was little tiny 13-inch TVs.
We've never went overly huge with a TV.
No.
So
Yeah, and the only reason we did that 55-inch was
Just as good
because of that good
And
deal.
we've always thought it was a little big for our room, so we'll find out.
I don't know, I liked the size. I think he thought it was a little big. I liked the size, you guys. But that's all right. I don't mind the 43-inch.
As long as it's got a good picture, that's all I care. I do, one thing I did notice about the Insignia 55, so if you ever bought the Insignia brand, I did notice over time we lost like the bottom.
Yeah.
The picture was still there, but even if I changed the screen size to widescreen and all that, it messed with the ratios. Like if a storm warning came on and it ran on the bottom of the screen, you'd lose it. Or when you were watching a football game, they put the stats and the other scores and I could never see them because they disappeared off the bottom.
So now we're on a Pat to get home. Stopped by her house, and Masha is just
here for the first time.
the swing.
And this is her first time.
It is her first
And it's
time.
not Reddington's.
No. She is just hanging out though, chilling out on the swing.
And it's not Reddington's first time. She fell.
You don't have room?
She fell
Do you want to sit too? Is that what you're saying?
Her paws fell through the first time, and then she just discovered laying down on the swing because she sat down the first time. So
See the bank there and the police car there? Yeah. That bank, literally, how long ago?
Like 40 minutes, not even.
Was just robbed in Dubuque. So they did catch the suspect though.
Yeah, they think. They haven't said that it is, but they caught somebody up at the other end of town here.
Yeah. So, yeah, a bank was robbed in Dubuque today.
In the gas station yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what, American Trust?
Yeah.
And then which gas station was robbed?
Big 10 right down here.
Yeah, so like this
On the same
strip of
street.
road on, what is this, JFK?
Yeah.
JFK Drive has had 2 robberies, but one major robbery. I mean, they're both major robberies, but robbing a bank, yeah, major robbery. So they finally got the TV, and a much better TV than they were expecting.
Yeah.
And look who we found.
How
We
we
found
doing?
John. Hi, John.
Are you driving? Awesome.
She wishes. No, she doesn't want to drive ever. So, are you all right?
I got a headache from buying the TV.
Yeah. Okay, so we ended up going with what's called a Hisense, and we actually ended up getting a 50-inch instead of 43, and it was only $43 more, right? So when we walked in the door, we had picked out a Westinghouse TV, and the guy's like, "No, I don't even want to sell this to you." He's like,
We
"If you'd
already bought it."
Yeah, we'd already bought it online through Best Buy, and he's like, "If you'd come into the store, we wouldn't have sold you this TV. We would have gotten you into something else because these are just junk TVs." Exact words. And every person that worked in the store said to us, they started asking, they're like, "If you could get a Westinghouse or any other TV, what would you get?" And the guy's like, "Any other TV." Every single person that worked there. So anyway, this was a better deal. But it was a big rigmarole, and it all had to do with credit cards and credit limitations, and they could fix what the limitation was on it, but it was taking too long for them to do it, and it was like, we were an hour and a half in the store, and finally it was like, okay, forget it. We'll just get the extra $43 and just pay that in cash, and then put the rest on the credit. So, yeah, just a big pain in the butt, and it's not something we expected, like an expense that we expected to have. Had no clue that this was going to happen with our TV last night.
Then our
so.
friend, who has worked there a long time and he's part of the Geek Squad installers, said, "This is the TV you want." He said, "I have this TV, the sound quality is amazing and you will love it."
Yeah, and that's the gentleman that we saw you. We showed you on there. We sawed you? We sawed you that. No, we showed you John on there. He's really, really nice. And yeah, so now we ended up with a 50-inch instead of a 43 and a better TV. Now you know, don't buy Westinghouse. Here's one of my mom moments that just makes me go, what? Why did you even? So literally 30 seconds ago in this car, Ireland yells, "Mommy, Zane spit on me." So of course I'm like, "Zane, don't spit on your sister." He's like, "I didn't spit on her. I licked my puppy." Why did you lick, Zane, don't lick your puppy. Why did you lick your puppy? I was grooming him. True life conversation that happened in this car, and happens all too often, doesn't it? I was licking my puppy to groom him. You know what the appropriate parental response in that moment is? Zane, you don't lick your puppy to groom him. You use his brush to groom him. Welcome to our life. So I just had to show you. Remember I said I'd never had these bloom before, but they looked like some type of flower. I was talking about these. They are, and they smell amazing. They have the sweetest smell to them. We were sitting on the steps the other day, and I'm like, what is that smell? Anyway, they're going crazy. They are all over, and yes, my irises look terrible right now, but they're everywhere. See, I've got little babies everywhere, and every year I've just mowed them down, cut them, because I thought, well, if they're growing in the grass, they're not a flower, just some kind of weird weed. They are a flower. They're called a wild phlox. And I have to thank one of our viewers, Steve K. Thank you so much for the garden app. It's called, what's it called, Matt? Garden Plant Identifier? Garden Answers Plant Identifier, and Matt installed it in his phone, and we were able to find out what they were right away. So I'm going to try to tame them down a little bit, but I have plenty of babies to work with, and I think I'm actually going to send some to my mom because she's always looking for a perennial flower that'll bloom for her, and these will go crazy. So if you get yourself some wild phlox and you want to cover a large area, but it's going to cover more than a large area. Look at this. This is my lilac bush. Yeah. And there's phlox growing in it. So this is something that'll definitely bloom everywhere. It's taking over the irises. So some of this stuff I'm going to have to dig up, but a lot of them I'm going to save, and they smell amazing, so they're worth having. They smell really sweet, almost like a honey smell. Guys, so there is our TV set up, and I think it turned out really nice. It does have an amazing picture.
Maybe we cut the front.